Hello and welcome to the Warner Brothers Discovery Podcast. Well, the big news once again is David Zaslav's pay package. It tripled to $165 million in 2025. So this guy's doing okay. Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav saw his compensation package soar to $165 million in 2025, tripling the pay package he received in 2024. It's like winning the lotto. Shit. That's why I got into the entertainment industry. Where did I go wrong? Which road did I take that was the wrong road? Maybe I didn't. Money can't buy happiness. Bullshit. This package was driven by option awards that were part of the revised employment contract. Let's talk about what Dave Ellison's doing. Well, him and Jeff Bezos and a few other big time billionaires were with Trump and the King of England at his dinner. And they all went to that deal. And I don't think David was invited. I don't know. He didn't go. He probably didn't care. Donald Trump's White House state dinner for King Charles, Tim Cook, Jeff Bezos, and Ivanka Trump, and more. And David Ellison was there also. So they had the dinner. I don't really get, these are the headlines. Dave Ellison, Jeff Bezos, and Fox News personalities among guests at the White House state dinner for King Charles. Boy, they sure have a lot of dinners. The last one, the gunman showed up from California. That's sick, huh? That is part of the merger deal. Paramount moves to get FCC approval for the Middle East investors in Warner acquisition. Paramount is asking regulators to approve a tie to the major foreign investments connected to the planned $111 billion purchase of Warner Brothers Discovery. The request was filed with the Federal Communications Commission as part of the regulatory process reviewed by the agency. So another hurdle to jump over. And once they get all these hurdles handled, and I hope Dave realizes what an asset I am, by all the subscribers I have. Not, but I will. This is still new. So there's a lot going on. The year is just flying by. This thing is going to be handled pretty soon. Already voted on it. They are agreeing for it to happen. He's done his homework, his hard work. David's gone out there. I think he's going to be okay. I mean, that's my own opinion because he seems like he's really interested in making films. And he could have done anything. Why? He could have just retired. His dad he could have bought an island and just go on the beach every day and do nothing, but he chose to work. And it's not easy. I'm sure he's got a lot of stress. That's a lot of money. I mean, this guy's going to go down in history, one of the most major deals, but I hope he's the first one to really pull this off. With my help, I'm sure he will. You hear me, David? I'm here, man, for you. I'm for you, buddy. So of course, I'm behind him. I'm behind anybody that's running the studio. I love Warner Brothers. Okay. No matter, it's just like whoever's president. I'm going to respect whoever's in that seat. I'm not going to put them down or do anything bad until they leave. Right, David Zaslav? I wanted that bicycle club. I'm still on that bicycle club. Let's see if Ellison does that. The bike club, the Warner Brothers Bike Club. I really want to do that. It's such a good idea. It's so good I'm a cyclist, so of course I like it. And where are my cyclist buddies? Why aren't they signing up? I'm going to go after them. I'm going after everybody. I'm going after everybody to get signed up to this podcast. And it's going to, if I have to do it myself, we're promoting it and stuff, but I don't know why you wouldn't want to listen to me all day, every day, giving you the news, what's happening, keep you up on current events. Right now, when I decided to do this podcast and came up with the idea, it was because everything was going on. I said, man, it's a perfect timing because they're not going to run out of stories with all this drama. And it was the Netflix drama. Netflix was going to get it. And then Paramount comes in with this hostile takeover. And Netflix is out. But you know what the good thing about, I used to go to Radford Studios all the time and down in Studio City. And my friends did shows there, a couple of them. I have great memories. And when it closed, it saddened me. But Netflix is buying it now. That's the word I got, and that's great, man. Because I heard it was going to end up being apartment buildings or something. That's horrible. I mean, I think back of those memories going down there, and it was fun seeing my friends, and they were doing sitcoms, and they were doing Seinfeld was filmed there, all kinds of cool shows. I just miss it, driving on the lot and all that cool stuff. It was sad to see it go. And this new Warner Brothers deal with the Paramount, it's going to be, I think, a good thing. I think that with his plan of everything that he's going to do, David Ellison's plan for Warner Brothers Discovery when they merge, when the merger is final, he wants to keep HBO Max and Paramount Plus will be combined into one service. He wants to put out 15 films per year with a 45-day theatrical window there. So that's theatrical means goes to the theaters, and a 45-day at the theaters there. People would like that because they want more movies back like the good old days. He's going to have, with the merged companies, will approximately $79 billion in debt. Jeez. That's heavy. $6 billion in cost cutting, including consolidating the tech infrastructure, real estate, corporate, and overheads, and more. No plans to sell off, spin off, or any of the cable assets, and such as Nickelodeon, flexibility to put sports like UFC and cable networks on any cable network, so he's not going to do that. We'll continue to license movies and TV shows to other studios and platforms. AI will be for a tool for artists, but never for replacement for storytelling. The CEO of Paramount on Monday spoke for the first time about the $110 billion mega deal. They say 110 and 111. Now, which is it? Because, missing $1 billion is a lot of money. Jeez. So this one says 110. Let's just say, okay, 110, give or take $1 billion. The CEO of Paramount on Monday spoke on the first time about the 110 billion mega deal, which will see the small company backed by tens of billions from his father, Larry Ellison, and tens of billions in debt from a consortium of lenders swallow a larger one. So the result will be, with two major film studios, Paramount and Warner Brothers, a jumble of TV studios, two major streaming services, HBO Max, Paramount, and stable of TV channels, and will include CBS, TNT, CNN, MTV, Nickelodeon, and HGTV. That will make a formidable player of the declining but lucrative pay TV business. It will be a major sports player, and it will combine two TV news giants, CNN and CBS, together. Only time will tell. We got to have faith. Have faith, friends, in what's going on. So until this is settled, we're just kind of here twiddling our thumbs until this is settled and everything gets going, and my bike club gets going, and we start making movies, and I get on here and have really something to talk about, except about who's getting paid what and how much this and blah blah blah, and that the actors don't want it and blah blah blah. Let's get on with our lives. Here's another story on Paramount. Warner Brothers Discovery will be 38.5% owned by Middle Eastern funds following closed filing. Paramount Skydance said the merged Paramount Warner Brothers Discovery will be 49.5% owned by foreign investors, with about 38.5% of the equity in the new company held by the trio of the Middle Eastern funds. In a filing Monday with the FCC, Paramount said Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund will have a 15.1% equity stake in the United Wealth Fund. The Investment Authority will own 10.6% equity in Paramount, has previously said foreign investors backing the WBD takeover will not have a board seat or any voting shares. According to the Paramount filing, the Ellison family, David Ellison and his father, Larry Ellison, along with Redbird Capital Partners, will continue to hold the largest equity stake in Paramount Skydance, Warner Brothers Discovery, and will continue to have control over the shares with 100% voting power, and all Middle Eastern funds will own 38.5%. of the equity in Paramount WBD will be the remainder of the foreign investment. Of course, Saudi Arabia's getting into that. They're getting into everything. That's why they're doing all that in Dubai. This is my own opinion. Okay. The oil's not going to last forever. So they got to start looking at different investments because that oil is going to eventually go dry. That's my theory. It has to. I've heard rumors for years that it's got maybe another decade maybe left, but they've got to start looking for different investments and things like getting their Dubai Disneyland together and started getting into films and start their own Hollywood gig in Dubai. But they're doing all kinds of stuff. I mean, they're trying to diversify. They invested in this thing, and they're really heavily into the film business. So they'll probably open up their own little studios in Dubai and stuff. Maybe we can go there and do a podcast. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. I try to report on this stuff every day, but it's pretty much the same stuff coming out that we know about. I mean, nothing till they start making movies and we can start talking about the movies they're making, the people they're hiring and stuff. And it's going to be pretty exciting. We got now Tom with everything combined and everything they got going with all the different IP. It's amazing. I mean, it's like Tom Cruise, him with the Mission Impossible franchise or Top Gun actually is what he's got over at Paramount. Originally, it was Bruckheimer and Simmons, Don Simmons. And he was a character, Don. And they gave them when they did that movie, it was such a success. They gave them this open checkbook with the 5-movie deal, and well, Don boy, he went crazy. But if you ever don't know who he was Jerry Bruckheimer's partner, and at the beginning, but he was a wild one. And eventually he OD'd and died, and years ago. But I mean, he had an unofficial biography out, and I got the book and I read it because I was kind of intrigued by the guy. He did Days of Thunder, and I heard that he bought his own race car during that with the studio money, and he got all the gear and would race around on the track like he was an actual. And he was a nut. So, but look what he did. He made movies. That's it. He went far, but he's gone now. So, but we're talking about him, Don Simpson. It was Bruckheimer and Simpson, if you remember, if you're old. If you're a baby boomer, we're the we're the baby boomers, almost gone. Anyway, my kids are millennials. So, and I mean, I didn't have my daughter until I was 42. So they kept me young though. 68 now. She's 26. Easy math. But I love my kids. Shane and Sydney. Now, Shane, when my ex got pregnant and we were at a barbecue up at Jack Palance's, and they were telling me, well, when she first got pregnant with my daughter, they wanted us to get married, Jack and his wife at the time, Elaine. She was a stewardess, a brand of stewardess. That's how they met. We were out at the ranch, and but then Shane, the movie that he was in, we talked about it a lot, and I liked the name, so I heard it so much, and that's how I named my son, Shane. And yeah, and it's Jack. I miss him. I've done some stories about him. He was a good old boy, and he was really smart. He just always never. He always had blew my mind by things. His son Cody and I were friends, and Cody didn't talk much. I mean, not like me. I mean, I was the talker in the duo, but we were producing a movie together, and 2 years I worked on that, and Cody was co-producing it, and his dad had come off that Oscar from City Slickers, and he was hot item at the time. So we got it funded, and the first weekend of pre-production, Cody was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma cancer, and that was that. That was the end of that story. So another sad story. The old stories from the film business. I've got a lot of them now. I probably hold the record for the most movies that fell apart. It got to the point where I just, man, because sometimes you got a couple years invested. I got two films that I have right now that I've been working on for over 20 years. Well, one 25 and one 10. And I mean they're hopefully going to get done now, but I'm not going to give up. You don't give up. I mean, that's just part of that's what it is all about. I mean, ask anybody in the business. I mean, once you get one done, get your one under your belt, that's a big thing. Something to celebrate about. I'm trying now just to keep you guys up on what's happening, but I need people to watch this thing or listen at least. The watching is the new thing everybody wants. They did surveys and people prefer video with these podcasts, but it's supposed to be like radio. And so now, there's got to be a visual. And before it was just talking, you could be doing it in your bathroom sitting on the toilet, but not anymore. Well, you could be. They could put a backdrop behind. I could be sitting on a toilet right now. You can't see, but I'm not. But I could have been. So, okay. So that's where we're at. So, au revoir. I'll talk to you guys later. And please get your friends. Put the word out there. Subscribe. Take care. We're over and out.